What is going on, all you bus nuts, geeks, and enthusiasts out there? Welcome to another episode of Motor Coach World. My name is James.
My name is Magne.
And my name is Tom.
And we today have special guests all the way from Norway, from the YouTube channel and the magazine known as Bussmagasinet. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Perfect.
And if you haven't checked out their channel, the link will be down here and up above. We are fellow bus nuts from two ends of the world, and today we're going to compare the differences and what they think of our MCI J4500 in comparison to the Scania
Touring. So it's a pleasure to finally be here in America, sitting in one of the coaches of Peoria Charter with James Wang from Motor Coach World. I'm so excited, James, and I can't wait to talk about this subject. So let's see what we will find out with these few words we're going to exchange right now.
And maybe also the manufacturers will learn from this video.
I think there's going to be a lot to be learned from what we discussed today. And I just want to say, please keep the comments clean, because I know that a lot of you are very passionate about your particular bus from your side of the world. But this is an opening of the minds, and we should be open-minded and really listen to the differences, the compare and contrast, the goods and the bads between the two different motor coaches that operate on opposite ends of the world.
So you can say that, first of all, in Europe we do have more design solutions than what we can see here in the US. When we come to the US, we can see that all coaches and buses looks a bit similar, and even the brand new coaches today looks like they did for many years ago. In Europe we develop our design quite a lot, so it's interesting to see what our thoughts are on the different kind of products, which is brand new or a little bit older.
I would like to say that both Tom and Magna has had the opportunity to drive, explore, crawl through the Scania Touring, and now as well as the MCI J4500 here in the US. I, however, have logged thousands of hours behind the wheel of an MCI J4500. However, I have never even seen a Scania Touring. So I would like to hear, let's start with the dash. On the MCI J4500, both of you have driven it. Tell the viewers a comparison between the dash panel, the driver's area of the MCI J4500 and the Scania Touring.
I will start with telling you this, that the Scania Touring was designed for more than 12-13 years ago. So it's the same dashboard all the way up to a few years ago when they changed it. And as I feel, it's more like a cockpit. When you're sitting there, it's following your body around, so you can reach all the buttons from a great distance. I have a good experience with it. And you're also sitting a little bit far from the window than in in coaches here in the United States. It feels like you are closer to the front window.
What I really like with the European built, or this is actually not even European built, the Scania Touring is a Swedish driveline built in China. So that's a little bit also strange compared to what we see in Europe in general. That's normally built in Europe, but we send the chassis to China, design it there, produce it there, build it there. What you see when you're sitting behind the steering wheel of a Scania Touring is that you can reach everything, like Tom just said, from the steering wheel. If I want to put on my blinker, I just tap my left hand up and down. But if you're going to take on your blinkers on the MCI, I have to lean quite far ahead to actually reach the blinker. So it's a completely different way of just doing the simplest thing, like turning on the blinker.
Awesome. Well, I will say that I looked at a picture of the Scania Touring's cockpit, and after listening to what you guys said about the MCI, I found them to be quite similar. And I thought, you know, in Europe they always say that buses in America look very old, even the brand new design. And this being a 2020, I thought, wow, well, I didn't find the dashes that different in comparison to the J and the Scania Touring. But then you said the Scania Touring was designed in 2010, which now confirms the 10-year-old design lag, I'll call it, between US bus design and European bus design. With that said, how Is the Scania Touring a pretty popular coach in Europe?
Yes, it is, because it's not a premium coach. It's on the middle of the way up to a premium coach. So it's popular for the intercity coach driving, and also for companies that want to have a fleet with some premium coach and some medium coach.
And the driveline on it is really comfortable to drive. Transmission is smooth and soft, and it's also quite nice in the fuel economy. I think it's a nice coach to drive if you are in this kind of segment for shuttle transport, but maybe not for the long distances like going 10 days in Europe and stuff.
Of course, we're talking about the 45-foot version, or otherwise 4-meter long 3-axle Scania.
At least 14 meters long. 4 meters would be a very short nice
sorry. I'm bad with the metrics. So the 14-meter long 3-axle Scania is the equivalent of the 45-foot long 3-axle MCI J. And let's talk about the performance and driving. Now, obviously, you've driven this J4500. It's got a Cummins ISX12. 400 horsepower diesel engine with the Allison B500 transmission. And what's inside the Scania Touring?
The engine in the Scania Touring is the DC13, and it's around 420 horsepower. And you have the manual automatic transmission. It means that it's a manual gearbox that is automated. So you have 12 steps. The difference I feel when I was driving the J4500, that where you have the Allison full automatic gearbox in 6-speed, that you have a really quick or what you call it, really fast acceleration from 0. In a manual automatic transmission, it's a little bit slower, and if you come to a turning in the road, you have to start on 0. It takes a few seconds more before the coach starts driving in Europe compared to what you have with the full automatic gearbox here.
And this is also a matter of taste, because I really love that comfortable gear shift. And up until 2000s, the Scania transmission, the manually one, was called comfort shift. You could do the pre-gearing, pre-selecting, and then you use the clutch, and then the gear was jumping into the right number. So it was really, really comfortable to use. And today this is now automated, but it's still the manual gearbox. I really like that feeling. But as well, if you're just going to be efficient, the Allison transmission is really comfortable because it takes you into speed almost immediately. Like you said yesterday, this is like driving a race car.
It is, and it's, of course, in Europe we can choose. We can choose from automatic, full automatic gearbox to manual automatic gearbox to the manual gearbox. So it's a choice you can take. Here in the United States, I had a feeling that most of the coaches are running with the Allison B500 gearbox, 6 steps automatic gearbox. So you cannot choose. If you have a fleet of 8 to 10 buses, you cannot choose to have different gearboxes in them, as I understand.
Well, that's very interesting. So it sounds like acceleration-wise, the US coaches perform a little better based on that. Now, when you say manual, is that the S-tronic, or are they actually shifting?
Oh, the old manual gear shift, the stick shift.
Is that still common in newer European coaches?
You can get it if you pay for it, but most of, I will say 90%, 95% of the coaches have automatic gearbox because of the torque of the engine.
And I don't think anyone wants the manual stick anymore on a new coach.
You see it on, especially on the minibus market in the East Europe. They choose the manual gearbox, and the west part of Europe they go for the manual automatic gearboxes.
Yeah.
So as far as the interior goes, let's talk about the passenger seating and the restroom. The Scania Touring is 55 seats, I believe.
Yeah, but you can specify like you want, because in Europe you always have the middle door as well. And now you can also get it with the rear door, so you will have a big luggage compartment underneath, and then you will have the wheelchair lift over the third axle, and then you will have the rear door and also the rear toilet. Yes. So that's a quite new modern version. But the previous Touring that's been produced until the mid-start 2020s, that had the middle door and also the middle toilet, and that's quite narrowed, and you don't want to stay there too long.
Okay. I feel this is also something that is a big difference from Europe to United States. That we know in Europe we have 2 doors. We have the middle door or the rear door, plus the front door, of course. So you lose like 4 seats on doing that configuration. Here you have only 1 door.
And then seats-wise, I know I heard you guys mention that American US designed seats are very archaic in comparison to the Europeans models. And compared to the Scania Touring, how would you compare the seats from the interior to US models.
Scania had these kind of seats in the 80s. In a Finnish factory called Aoki.
Yes, without the seatbelt, of course.
And so what's different today?
They are more ergonomic, made for passenger. They are thinner in the what you call it, the foaming. Just similar to what you see in the airplane.
And they're probably much lighter.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
I will actually try to find, because I was driving a Scania bus from the 1989, I think, and that bus have kind of this seat. So I will try to find that video for you so you can cut into this one.
But the weight on the seat is of course very important, because we are more focused on the total weight in Europe than you maybe are in the US.
But the good thing here in the American coaches is the ceiling. Look at this futuristic, perfect ceiling. This looks like you're entering the newest airplane on the airport, taking you all over the world. I really like it. So on the top here, the coach is the most modern thing I ever seen. But when you go down to the seats and you see the window shapes and also the panels above here, I think it's too old-fashioned. But I really like the overhead compartment. You can lock them down. It looks more like an airplane. And also the ceiling with the lightning. Really, really perfect.
What a great eye-opening chat this was. Definitely getting a better perspective at all around the world. I appreciate you guys being here. It's been wonderful. And remember, folks, if you're watching this, you are part of the motor coach world.
This is amazing to be in the United States to take a look at the coaches and buses.
You're always welcome.